What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is October the 23rd. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data points, you have existing home sales coming out early this morning. In previous reports, that has kind of shaken up the market a little bit, not because of the data itself, but rather what the data is doing to the likelihood of a rate cut or future rate cut. So that might happen this time around as well. You have a couple of Fed speakers, but in my opinion, one of the biggest driving points for today is going to be companies unveiling their earnings. So you have some misses, some positives over the last 24 hours, and even today, before the market opens, you have some big names: Boeing, AT&T, Coke. You also have after hours, big bad Tesla. So we'll just have to wait and see, but essentially, fear and greed index is under the greed category, so meaning people's appetite for risk is on the table. Futures are down slightly, NASDAQ down 0.34, S&P down 0.24, and Dow is down 0.44. That's been kind of a similar circumstance to the last two trading days, where the futures in the morning are selling off, and then during the trading day, it kind of recovers. There's been a huge inflow of capital, and so that is, in my opinion, one of the driving factors why the market kind of recovers during the trading day. So we'll just have to wait and see what does happen. But starting off, SoFi is down slightly. No news, no SDC filings. But like I said, SoFi was kind of piggybacking off of the futures over the last several trading days, and it ultimately does close in the green despite shorts increasing. So shorts did increase roughly around 500,000 shares yesterday. 16.2% of the free float is being shorted. So just anticipate shorts to be very volatile as usual, but I think they're kind of playing a losing game. There's a lot of capital getting into SoFi, like FOMO 2.0, as I kind of mentioned. So yeah, it'll be another interesting day. But as far as right now, with it at $10.57 pre-market, it is trading between this R1 and R2. So the next strong support is going to be 10.44, and that is followed by 10.02. And the next strong resistance slash target, $10.70, which kind of came close to that yesterday, which in my opinion, it most likely will be touched today. And then $11.13 will be that kind of secondary level. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. Spirit is getting a nice shock to it. So it is up 27.01%, with rumors floating around of them, I guess, speaking to another airline for, I guess, recovery. And yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Looks like it's Frontier. That's who they're kind of talking with. I do have a video actually coming out in a couple hours where I do bring up Spirit, and it's because they are very, very heavily shorted. I believe they were the third most heavily shorted, or maybe fourth, but don't want to spoil it for you. Currently, 35.2% of the free float is being shorted, so anticipate them to be very active today. They'll probably be trying to suppress it at all costs. But yeah, they've been really increasing at a slow, steady rate for a very, very long time now. And aside from that, with it at $2.68, $2.61 will be the strong support, $2.70 will be the next strong resistance slash target, and then that's followed by $2.85. In my opinion, I think it is probably going to touch this R3 or possibly even that $3 range, which is going to be a very psychological resistance point as well, but it might kind of sell off, in my opinion, near the second half of the day. So that's just something to keep in mind. Moving on, Enphase. So they did unveil their earnings. It was kind of horrific. So it was more of an all-around miss in general. And this stock seems to be their thing, especially their last earnings as well. It was a complete miss. It's just, yeah. So it looks like they did miss by 13.03 million for the revenue, missed by 13 cents on the earnings per share. And I believe from what I've seen, the future guidance wasn't necessarily the best. This stock isn't that heavily shorted, so 10.73% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 14.06, but anticipate shorts to really be increasing their position today, with it right now at 78.59. It is trading between this S2 and this S1. Take that with a grain of salt, of course, because I'm looking at the 1 week. It's gone down so much that it's below all the key points on all the levels. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that. NIO is up slightly, 1.05%. There's been a lot of good things coming out about NIO over the last little bit. And I think in reality as well, as I said in my dedicated NIO video yesterday under Financial Journey, I think the technicals have been the saving grace for NIO, because roughly around that $5.15, that is where the 50 and also 200-day moving averages are. So I think, like I said, the technicals have been the saving grace. There hasn't been all that much in news coming out associated to NIO. So yeah, shorts though, they have been very relentless. Currently 13.03% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 174 mil for overall shares. And what I mean by relentless, they've been really slowly and steadily increasing their position over the last roughly about 2 weeks. Right now though, with it at $5.29, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So 505 will be a strong support, and then 548 will be that next strong resistance / target. I don't feel this S1 will be touched today unless something goes really, really bad. And plus, on a side note, Tesla is unveiling their earnings. Whatever happens to Tesla, good, bad, and the ugly, does trickle down to other EVs. So that could potentially happen. And then ticker PHUN, it is up 20+%. And honestly, this is a very good example of this right here. So people's appetite for risk increasing with it under the greed category. So this is going up. No actual news today, just piggybacking off of previous news, but essentially it's doing fairly well. Over the last 5 days, up 79.98%. Over the last 1 month, up 301%. On a side note, this is what they do, so feel free to pause it and whatever else. Based out of the US, applications software, 25 employees, founded in 2009. And yeah, I guess historically speaking, generally the stock seems to lag over the last 7 years, but in October though, that seems to be a very, very good month. So I guess the writing's kind of on the wall that this was going to be a good month for it historically again. So yeah, this is maybe a must add to your watch list possibly, but it's not that heavily shorted. On a side note, so 7.91% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 893.2 thousand shares overall are being shorted. So let me know your thoughts. Do you own any of these stocks? If not, what other stocks are you kind of watching today? Any companies unveiling their earnings catching your eye as well, such as Tesla or anyone else? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. 2 things as well I want to share with you. Take advantage of this promo. It does give you 8 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So this is a kick-ass deal, only up until November the 30th. Link to this is in the description below and also the comments. And then as well, I did launch membership. So if you like the channel, want to support it, there is a tier for that. Or if you want buy signals on stocks and options, there's a tier for that. So recommend you guys popping over there and taking a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.